Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Book Talk, where four best-selling authors join you to talk all things bookish for 10 sweet short minutes. I'm Julie Cantrell, and I'm joined here today with Rachel Linden, Marie Bostwick, and Katherine Reay. And today we're going to talk about our favorite books to give as gifts for the holiday season. Let's start with Rachel. Rachel, what do you want to give this season?
Okay, well, I'm a little bit late to the party, but I love to give books for Christmas. And so I just finished the one that probably everyone read and was talking about 4 years ago, A Man Called Ove, and my Swedish isn't great. And I absolutely loved it. It was my favorite read of this year. And so I immediately went out and bought a huge stack of them, and everyone is getting this for Christmas, everyone. So I loved it. I loved so many things about it. I both laughed and cried through the entire book. And I thought, I am such a sucker for books about human connection and about the power of connection to redeem and brighten our lives. And this one was wonderful for that. And I love that it's Swedish. I love that we're getting some more Northern European authors that are making their way across the pond. And I just thought it was fantastic. So that is my book recommendation for Christmas. And so far, everyone I've asked who I'm giving it to has not read it yet. So apparently I'm in this little pocket of people who had not heard of this. So that's mine. And it's by Frederick Backman.
I loved that book. It was so good.
So good. Amazing. And I was crying at the end, and I immediately rolled over in bed and said to my husband, just whatever you're reading, stop and read this now.
I love all his books. I really do. Yeah.
I do love a good curmudgeon, and that is one of the better curmudgeons ever.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a curmudgeon. I'm just one. I
I was born a curmudgeon. So I'm
just really identified. I loved it. It was wonderful.
Absolutely.
All right. Marie, tell us what your recommendation is.
Okay, well, from the Department of Shameless Self-Promotion, I wrote a book 2015, 16, something like that, a long time ago, and called The Second Sister. I did not realize that I had written a Christmas book until Hallmark bought the rights and turned it into a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie called Christmas Everlasting.
Wait, you have a Hallmark movie that is that book?
How did we not know this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then we
spend more time together. No, it was the 2018 Hallmark Hall of Fame movie. Tatiana was in it. Actually, I think it's showing December, 13th, something like that.
Okay, what was the movie again? What was it called?
Christmas Everlasting.
Christmas Everlasting.
And Patti LaBelle was in it. Tatiana Ali was in it. Dennis Haysbert was in it. And I got to go to the set, and it was really cool. It was probably one of the highlights of my life. One of the best days of my life, except for, of course, when I got married and had all my children, which is, of course. But it was pretty good. So it's the fun part is, of course, they take your 400-page book and they make it into a 90-minute movie. And so they just concentrated on one little part of the story, but there's so much more in this story. And it is set during the holidays in Door County, Wisconsin, which is just a beautiful, magical place to visit. There are, I have a habit of making my characters suffer and then giving them a happy ending. So there's a lot of suffering in this book, and there are sad moments, but and my book's always like, if you're not yet at the end, the happy ending hasn't come, it's going to be fine at the end. So persevere. So that's one. And another one, I give this book a lot. So it's called The Very Best Worst Christmas.
I love that one.
This book is so hilarious. Good. The author is Barbara Robinson. I've given it so many times. It's a great book for kids. It's a great book to read aloud to kids, but adults will enjoy it too. It is hilarious. And basically what the storyline is, there is, especially in the church, right? We're supposed to show up and be clean and behave ourselves. So this is what happens when the horrible Herdman kids show up to the church and get involved with the Christmas pageant. And it's kind of a nightmare for everybody, but on the other hand, it's an amazingly wonderful, truthful, happy ending. And I adore this book. And if you haven't read it, you should. So that's my thing.
Also yay big. It's like a 2 hour.
It's tiny. It's a great read aloud book for
such a
your
good book.
family. It
And
really
young kids can read it too.
Young
I'm
kids
so glad you named that one. Yeah,
Love
that makes
that
me
book.
happy.
I love mine too, but I love this one a lot. So Catherine, what are you getting for Christmas this year, girlfriend?
Okay, I am taking us all back to the classics and to one of our favorite curmudgeons. I love to give and read actually A Christmas Carol by Dickens. And I know probably everyone knows the story. We've seen one of the 20 million iterations, but have you read it? Because it's amazing. Let me just quickly read you how Scrooge is introduced. He is a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Dickens just goes on with his words. It unfolds Scrooge to the most joyful man in a really beautiful way that the movies don't quite capture. And so it's a lovely story of transformation. And I kind of think in the movies, we miss that. So dip back into the actual book, enjoy A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and there you go.
I love that.
Another
You
good
can get-
read aloud one too. I have been known, when I still had kids at home, we would read it aloud over the course of a few nights.
Another thing is, the nice thing is there's so many iterations of this story. You can get different drawings, the original black and white, some beautiful 4-color. I mean, you can give almost any version, kids versions, the classic. It just adapts also to the recipient. There you go.
I love these choices. Y'all are blowing me away. Okay. I love to give really sweet, uplifting things that can go safely to anybody because I never know what people's wounds are. And I'm always afraid I might tap that. So I like to give things that are hopeful. So I love to give like the collected verses of the Winnie the Pooh stories, A.A. Milne, and Life's Journeys with Mr. Rogers. I don't know if you can see that. It's quotes by Fred Rogers. This is a new one though by Matt Haig, who I love. He wrote The Midnight Library and he just came out with the Comfort Book during the pandemic. And it's just a really beautiful collection of hopeful sayings and verses and his own thoughts that get him through the dark times because he's very open about suffering from some depression along the way and having suicidal thoughts at different times in his life. So it's really uplifting for anyone who might be struggling a little bit this holiday season. Another one for all ages that's just beautiful and loving and kind and empathetic is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I don't know if y'all have seen that.
Yes.
It was last year's book of the year by Barnes and Noble, or no, actually 2019, but it's just one of my favorite books to give as a gift. It's got beautiful watercolor sketches and just beautiful uplifting quotes. All of these books, this one especially, good for any age, just really beautiful book to read with your children. Speaking of children, Pippi Longstocking is my favorite character in all of literary history. And I love this edition. I mean, the illustrations are just amazing to me. And they're so colorful and bright and cheerful on every page. And it's the best read aloud book with your kids. It's, it's old and the language is a little playful for today, but I think it's so cheerful and just, can you see some of those illustrations?
Yeah. Show us the front cover again. Show us the front cover. Okay. We have read books with that illustrator. Okay.
She's wonderful. It's Lauren Child is the illustrator. And of course the author is Astrid Lindgren, in case you didn't know that. All right. 2 more real quick. Patty Callahan's Once Upon a Wardrobe.
Yes.
This is out just this year and I just love it. I think it celebrates, it celebrates sibling love, which is so special to me. But it's also a cross-generational read that celebrates the power of story to connect us across generations and across death and across loss. I just think it's so hope-filled and another safe read for anybody, any age. I just love that. And because novels can, never know what the content's going to be, I have to do another little self-plug here like Marie. We just released It's a Wonderful Christmas with 4 author friends, Lynn Gentry, Allison Pittman, Jennifer Trump, and Kelly Martin Stewart. And each of these, there's 5 novellas in here based on sparked by some of our favorite holiday films because Christmas movies make us so happy. And so these are safe, clean reads, inspiring and hopeful, meant to bring sentimental smiles to anybody. So, and you don't have to be necessarily Christian to read these and enjoy them. It's just like anybody can enjoy a Christmas movie or holiday movie. That's what these stories are. So we named it It's a Wonderful Christmas based on It's a Wonderful Life, of course, but just little doses of joy for anybody. So I hope those bring some happy gifts under the tree. There's nothing better than a book under the tree. And
nobody ever returned a book for being the wrong size.
Exactly. And you put a personal inscription in the front and it's a gift that they keep forever and pass down to their children and their children. You never know how long it's going to stay in that family. I think it's a beautiful way to give something personal that's not too expensive. It's hard to find good gifts that aren't too expensive anymore that have meaning. So it's beautiful. I'd love to hear what readers are giving to as gifts if they comment or anything like that. I think that would be fun. Yeah.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. Because we might
leave comments. We would love to know. And that shares the ideas with everybody.
Christmas gifts. Yeah, absolutely. Good,
well, thank you all so much for joining us here today for the 10-minute book talk. And stay tuned because next week we'll be talking with children's author Jeffrey Turner. And he's going to be a great conversation. We'd love for you to all come back and join in. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.